Welcome to our analysis of political socialization and civic participation. How do we acquire our political views? Although an infant would be hard-pressed to evaluate the president's job performance, children begin to acquire political opinions at an early age, and this process continues throughout adulthood. The process by which we develop our political values and opinions is called political socialization. As we develop our political values, we form the bedrock of what will become our political ideology, our integrated system of general political values. As this ideology emerges, it shapes how we view most political subjects, what side we take on public issues, how we evaluate candidates for office, and what our opinions on policies will be. Although many people tend to think that political socialization occurs only as they approach voting age, in reality this process begins at home in very early childhood. Core tenets of our belief system, including our political ideology, our beliefs about people of different races and sexes, even our party identification, are often firmly embedded before we have completed elementary school. A key aspect of political socialization is whether children are socialized to participate in politics. Simply put, civically engaged parents often have civically engaged children. Parents who engage in active forms of participation, such as volunteering on a campaign, and passive forms, such as watching the nightly news or reading a newspaper, demonstrate to children what matters to them. Parents who change the channel to a Modern Family rerun during an important presidential news conference are also socializing their children to their values. Children absorb the political views of their parents as well. A parent's subtle, or sometimes not so subtle, comments about the president, a political news story, or a policy debate contribute to a child's political socialization by shaping that child's views. The beliefs and values we learn early in life also help shape how we view new information. Although events may change our views, we often choose to perceive events in a way that is consistent with our earlier beliefs. For example, people's evaluation of which candidate won a debate often strongly coincides with their party identification. Thus, the process of political socialization tends to be cumulative. Historically, most social scientists have agreed that family and school have the strongest influence on political socialization. Our families teach us that it is, or is not, valuable to be an informed citizen and coach us in the ways in which we should participate in the civic life of our communities. For example, if your mother is active in Republican Party politics in your town, you are more likely to be active in that party than someone whose parents are not involved. Is your father active in charitable donations such as the local food bank? He might also ask you to run a 5K race to raise money to buy food for the upcoming holiday season. Schools also influence our political socialization by teaching us shared cultural values. And in recent times, the omnipresent role that the media play in everyday life warrants their inclusion as one of the prime agents of political socialization. Does the process of socialization matter in determining whether individuals are active in civic life? Studies indicate that socialization does matter in a number of ways. First, children whose parents are active in politics or in their community are more likely to be active themselves. Schools also play an important role in socializing young people to become active in civic life. High school and college students are more likely to participate than young people of the same age who are not attending school, and the longer a person continues their education, the more likely they will be active in their communities. Research also indicates that socialization actually generates participation. People who have been socialized to participate in civic life are more likely to volunteer for a charitable or a political organization in their communities when they are invited to do so. From our families and schools, we also learn the value of becoming informed. Parents and schools, along with the media and the other agents of socialization that are discussed in the next section, provide us with important information that we can use to make decisions about our political actions. People who lack knowledge, by contrast, tend not to be actively involved in their communities. In fact, research indicates that when young people use any source of information regularly, including newspapers, radio, television, magazines, and the internet, they are more likely to engage in all forms of civic participation. There is also a strong link between being informed and voting behavior. According to the results of one survey that measured civic engagement among young people, youth who are registered to vote are more informed than their non-registered peers. 86% of young registered voters answered at least one of the knowledge questions, measuring political knowledge, correctly, as opposed to 78% of youth who are not registered to vote.